Guys, welcome back. I am Tiffany Tate with Unorthodox Group, and as always, I am back with a new side hustle tip. All the side hustles that help me and my business partner grow a very large portfolio. So today we are jumping in and we are talking about being a Medicaid consultant. If you're interested in all our side hustles or any side hustles to get that money up this year, make sure that you're hitting the subscribe button below and the little bell to let you know when we have a new video that just dropped. Jumping right on in, what is a Medicaid consultant? So a Medicaid consultant is a third-party independent consultant who simply works for themselves on behalf of an organization or agency that is either attempting to bill for Medicaid services or are currently credentialed and billing for Medicaid services. This individual can do any portions of Medicaid consulting. This can be from the credentialing portion, which simply focuses on getting them kind of approved to be a Medicaid provider, doing the billing, auditing, and compliance, clinical auditing and compliance, operational development of Medicaid facilities. So this really is about what you want it to be and what your specialty is as a Medicaid consultant. So what does it look like to be a Medicaid consultant? Very similar to any other independent contractor or consultant. You set your own rates. You're usually paid on an hourly basis within the Medicaid consulting world, sometimes on a project basis, but you set your own rates, you set your own hours, you determine where you work. Are you working in the client's office, the agency's office, your home office, your regular office? All that is kind of up to you and how you set up those contracts, but you are the independent individual who works on behalf of the agency that's hired you to be kind of their liaison and go-between between them and the public health system of Medicaid. Step 3, research. It's really important to note that though Medicaid is public health insurance and kind of seen on a federal level under CMS guidelines, which we talk about a lot, if you want any of these side hustles, you probably should just like kind of Google CMS guidelines and kind of start there, right? A lot of public health is going to be based on that. Though it is based on that on a federal level, Medicaid has a lot of carve-outs based on the state level. So you're really looking at mastering this state by state in the beginning. Naturally, if you're in the state of Minnesota, I would start with Minnesota Medicaid. There are a lot of nuances for the state level that may differ from the general CMS guidelines. So when you're doing your research, you want to research, if you're trying to be an expert in this, what is the state guidelines for Medicaid based on the population that I'm serving? So you're going to go out there and look up the CMS guidelines and the state Medicaid guidelines for the services that you're interested in becoming an expert in, whether that's adult mental health or children's, adolescent substance abuse. Those are going to look different in terms of how the charts need to look, who can provide the services, and you want to be the master not just in the CMS guidelines, but also in the state guidelines that may be specific to your state, your county. It can even go as far as the carve-outs. It can get really difficult in terms of if the state carved this out to Humana may have additional rules for their Medicaid compliance, or if they carved this out to Cigna may have additional rules for Medicaid consulting and compliance. So you want to spend this time doing that research, figuring out what state, what Medicaid providers and what population you kind of want to be the expert in and master at this particular level. A good way to figure out what you want to become the expert in when it comes time to figuring out, well, what do I really want to focus on and what is my expertise? Start where you are. Look at the kind of position you have and the experience you have within a Medicaid facility. For instance, social workers who have been business managers may really want to focus on Medicaid billing. They may be a really good consultant for that area. Or a social worker or a therapist who's been a regular clinician or therapist within a Medicaid system may really focus on clinical and medical chart auditing for Medicaid, right? Or focusing on program development and the best evidence-based practices to use as a Medicaid expert. A social work case manager may really focus on the prevention and aftercare program development within Medicaid consulting. And a social work administrator may really focus on the overall de novo development. De novo means like from the ground up kind of building, development and structure of overall hospitals, systems, facilities that want to take Medicaid and can be Medicaid funded facilities. So depending on what your natural experience has been in, that may be a really good place to start in talking about becoming the expert in terms of Medicaid consulting, because that language may make more sense to you, those functions, those operations may make more sense to you, and it really is then not about learning a new skill, but really just honing in and becoming an expert where I already am. Step 4, getting it done. How do we hit the pavement running? How do we get out there and start getting clients? The beauty of Medicaid is most states will openly tell you who's getting public funding. Every single hospital, every single treatment center, anybody who's usually publicly funded is going to be general information, public information. And you could Google this usually in your state. In the state of Florida, we can easily look up who's licensed to provide services and who's getting Medicaid at that level, or public health insurance. This is usually Googleable information that you could find out just by trying to see who gets public health funds in your state. Look it up, research them, and figure out how do you get involved with them, connected with them, and linked with them, because that's how you start getting clients. Step 5, final step today, is getting paid. How much money can you make, and how do you get this money being a Medicaid consultant? So this ranges. I've seen Medicaid consultants charge $50 an hour all the way up to $235 an hour. This grossly depends on your experience, your expertise, and what you can really promise and bring to the table. So $50 an hour is usually starting off entry level, and this is usually people who know how to audit the charts, determine what should be seen in Medicaid. Are you going to get paid off of this? Can you get them credentialed with Medicaid? Usually is around the $50 an hour range. The person who I know charges $235 an hour for this does all of the above. They'll get you credentialed. They'll sign you up and get your 10-digit number. They will go ahead, and they even go into certain cities that Medicaid is not doing expansions in, and get specialized Medicaid expansions because of their political connections. They know how to kind of maneuver the system. They have a lot of lobbying background. So they can even get kind of these carve-out Medicaids that are not normal. Even if there isn't a Medicaid expansion, let's say in Kentucky, they may be able to go in there and get a Medicaid expansion based on a particular target population or group that needs this service in that particular geographical area. That's a lot of words, a lot of big words, a lot of hustles. I'm not talking about the $235 an hour person right now. That person knows what they're doing, and I promise you they're not watching my channel right now. I'm talking to us who is getting these side hustles started. Easily $50 an hour, focusing on credentialing, focusing on auditing, and supervision. And you could definitely, kind of part from there. You're setting your rates on your own. You really want to look at what are you bringing back to this table, because the truth of the matter is, if they cannot do billing without you and they don't know how to do the system, you're setting your price. They need to bill. They need clients. They need to be able to have their overhead covered. And if you're the liaison and the connection to getting that billing done, you can set your price. The goal here is for you to really work on establishing relationships early on and getting some of this under your belt, not charging top dollar in this industry right away. I'm being very honest. If you cannot back up that top dollar money, this is not the industry to play that game. Well, today we have talked about Medicaid consultants, and every week we're talking about different side hustles that kind of grew our financial portfolio. If you're interested in learning more, hit that subscribe button. We always have brand new side hustles for you. We also have in our description our Unorthodox Women's Mentorship Group. If you're a professional woman looking to kind of grow entrepreneurially or professionally, check us out below. It's a free mentorship group that we host. You guys have a wonderful week.